So, you found yourselves exploring a seemingly derelict vessel, apart from a couple of confusing mules and a worm expert who was left there.
Yeah.
And coming back to your ship, the Moon Dancer, or at least the ship you've rented, using currently, you find another vessel looming in the asteroid field ahead of you. The dark, dangerous shape of a giant spider with long, delicate legs reaching out from the central portion of the hull. And as this ship looms before you, those of you just coming back from the salvaged vessel, burdened with treasures and weary from the several fights you've had before, what do you wish to do?
Derek,
Was I making tea at the end of the last session?
probably.
No, you were panicking at the end of the last session.
Oh, right, okay.
I'll look towards the captain and just say, Captain, what do you want us to do?
I don't know. They've got us. Man the weapons. We'll see if we can fight them off.
Maybe if we stay still, they won't notice
will
us.
I'll take Raslim up and get the ballistas up there. The others.
I'll follow.
Whee!
Yep, you have to take a trip through space.
Woo!
There you go.
Where'd it
You
go?
also have to take a trip through space.
I wasn't fast enough. Okay.
And you begin to ready the ballistas. While we're doing that, Valis, what are you doing?
Panicking?
Good call.
Is it sane panicking or crazy
There's
panicking?
no time for like any rest or anything, is there?
Nope, they are bearing down upon you.
I will probably gone down below deck to see if there's anyone who can help fight and alert people who can't to not fight.
You go down, and I mean, there's a lot of commoners still down there. You rescued a number of people from Toril at the start of the adventure, when the planet was being destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody down here seems to have any experience of fighting.
I thought they were cannons loaded with apples. I didn't realise they were mules.
They are not cannons loaded with apples. They are, in fact, cargo.
Yeah, that makes sense now.
Even sleeping, Andy.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. They look like
I think he
cannons
isn't.
from the deck above. Which there wasn't of, I know. Yeah, I'm just gonna like make sure everyone's secure, and then obviously anyone who can fight, I'll have sent them up, and then once everyone's aware of the situation, Valis will head back up. Unless there's anyone wounded.
No, people down here seem okay. They're mostly just trying to find places to stay out of the way, as it were.
Yeah. Then that's fine, then Valis will leave them be, and then head up to the deck and repair. In general.
As you come back up, you see the ship moving closer. Calatrix.
I probably would have gone with Rune to help with the cannons or with the ballistery things.
Okay. So you all, most of you, find yourselves up on the combat deck, loading the ballista, getting ready to fire. Who's manning each ballista?
I'll be on the top ballista.
I'm gonna do my thing again with Mage Hand to help load the ballistas in chain format.
Yeah. You see Valis waving his hands, the ballista bolts start lifting up from the ground. Rune Calatrix, who's firing the bottom ballista.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Alright. Just 1 second, I've got a Discord server exploding in my ear. Right, fix that.
I'd have also commanded Derek to assist with Sol in reloading the ballista.
Oh yes, I may have accidentally deleted Derek, but that's fine.
What?
He'll be back.
Not Derek.
I just delete Derek!
We have 3 people on each ballista this time.
There's basically 2, and then I'm casting.
Valis is holding bolts on both ballistas, but
Okay, cool.
you've got a zombie to help you out as much as possible.
Yeah, good luck with that.
That wants to load the mules.
How far off?
Apple loading mules.
How far away is the ship currently?
About 250 feet, which is just outside of your range.
Is it coming
I've
from
got the range on ballistas. 1 second.
which side is it coming from?
It is approaching you from the rear, so you're in the right position for this. It was looming within this asteroid field, and as you were getting ready to move off, you noticed it.
Okay, that's long range for ballistas, right?
I believe so. Let me check. I forgot the range on ballistas momentarily.
It's
is,
enough.
120 to 480 feet.
Yeah. So it's within long range for the ballista.
Can I take a shot?
You may.
Disadvantage?
1d20. Yeah, at disadvantage.
What's it plus?
6 for the ballista.
Plus 6.
Yep.
Pew! 11.
Yeah, you see the bolt fly wide over the night spider as it looms closer. The zombie, getting a bit too close to the bowstring, starts to pull it back, and Valis's magic arms drop another bolt in place. And as you're watching this ballista bolt fly over, you see another ballista bolt flies at it. You look to the side. It didn't come from Rune's ballista.
Oh,
And
So what?
another one, a large stone arcs over.
oh!
You look around and you see gliding into view from behind the asteroid field 2 galleons with fine wood on the exteriors, gilded rails, pummeling this night spider with ballista bolts and stones from large catapults as it breaks off its attack and floats behind cover towards the asteroid field proper. The galleons move closer to you, almost in defensive formation around you, as the night spider floats away.
Well, this is a fortunate turn of events.
Hey, who summoned them?
I
I
see.
don't know.
We appear to have a look on our side at the moment.
Yeah.
You hear the captain's voice from below. Don't fire, they're friendly.
We figured!
Well, they're mostly friendly.
And we didn't figure that.
Well, they mostly.
Why are they not mostly friendly?
Come down here, I'm not yelling up there.
What?
She,
I'm kidding. I head down.
as,
Yeah, we'll
you,
go back down.
as you look back down, you see she's moved closer to the mast to call up to you. I call back down. You see, as you're making your way down the ladders, you can see one of the galleons is moving in closer to you. The other one stays at a distance watching the night spider.
Who are
As
they,
you-
Captain?
It looks like the Incorrigible. She motions the closer one. And that one over there, I think, is a stalwart. They're captained by Darvik. He sailed out of the rock, but we've had words.
think I see.
He sails out of a rock?
The Rock of Braal, where I'm taking you.
Oh, is that where you're taking us? I've never been there.
Valis, she's told us this previously.
I must have been making tea somewhere at the time.
Well,
You see this other galleon pulling up alongside. A fair distance away, but close enough to speak from rail to rail, as it were.
No,
you see him-
buddies!
As you call out Valis, you see on the other side a man with sort of the yellowish skin of a Githyanki. The tight leathers and a red sash that wraps around one shoulder. He looks at you and goes, ahoy.
Yarby sailing good!
His eyes just sort of shift past you towards where the captain stands.
I turn to the others. It's a good job I learned how to speak pirate.
I mean,
Valis, you should go make some tea.
Oh, yes! And I pull out the teapot that's dripping blood and run down into the bottom of the deck.
You should clean your teapot and then make some tea.
No! Tea you never wash! I learned that.
it's, but you also don't make it with blood to Valis. At least I know that. Or hearts.
I'm down in the decks. Bye!
As you hear Valis going down the stairs, Captain Sartell steps forwards towards the rail. And the other man calls across, Captain, where are you headed? She looks over to him and goes, I'm taking these to Rock of Braal. The world was destroyed. They have a short conversation about what happened. The things that you've already experienced, she is explaining to him, and eventually comes to a point he looks over to you all and goes, Right. Keep her ship safe. Looks around the asteroids again. In fact, I'll escort you back. Come. His vessel starts to move away. The captain looks to you all. I guess he's escorting us?
Captain, do you think we would be able to perhaps sleep part of the voyage now? We've been quite active over the last few hours, and I think we could all do with a break.
It's understandable. It will... I mean, if we're going at the speed of the Stalwart, it will take us maybe 10 hours to get there. We should have time. There's hammocks below.
Thank you, Captain.
Thank you.
Guys,
Thank you.
I need to sleep. If Alice gets into trouble, wake me. Otherwise, I'll see you in a few hours. I head downstairs. That's not downstairs, it's upstairs.
That was upstairs.
And she walks off towards the back as you all find your places for a long rest. And you continue moving towards, well, presumably towards the Rock of Braal. The two other galleons shift along each side of you, and you watch. You can see, if you look out over the bows, you see the names on the stern of each of their ships, the Stalwart and the Incorrigible, both of which have the name Darvik underneath them. And you move forwards as you finally take your much-needed long rest. Is there anything anyone wishes to do during their rest period?
I will try and work out what these two items that we found are,
Yes.
since I already know what they are because you gave me them, but I will do it
Yes.
in game now.
No, yeah, you will have the opportunity to identify them. So you will know what they are, which you already knew.
Does anyone here actually use heavy armor?
A breastplate's medium armor.
Does anyone actually use medium armor?
Rune can use medium armor.
I can.
I'd give Rune I would give Rune the +1 breastplate then. The words are hard.
I think Callie can also use medium armor.
Probably, but I don't think she'd use metal.
And the Iune Stone, would I be right in thinking that you can put spells into this as well?
Yes.
Okay, in that case...
As you meditate on it, you learn that it already has the spell shield within it, but it can store other spells if you are someone who uses spells.
I'd give Valis the Iune Stone of Reserve then.
Alright.
Oh, thank you. Okay. So after my long rest, I've got to spend an hour. Is it to? Yeah, after putting armor, I've got to spend an hour.
Yeah.
Or I've got to take an hour to take off, or something like that. Anyway.
Yeah, it's problematic because it can take you an hour to take off the armor you have, or to unintegrate the armor you have, and then an hour to integrate your new armor.
Okay.
So you're going to spend a bit of time doing that during your rest. You can fit that into your rest period, but it'll take you a bit of time to get through it all.
Okay. Because I also want to do something else as well, so I'll check how long that takes.
As you sit there and slowly integrate your new armor. I'll mark down Valis.
Yes.
Sol comes to find you at some point before or during your rest and hands you this small purple crystal, which is now in your inventory.
Is this the sugar for the tea?
No. It is an Iune Stone.
What's an Iune Stone?
It is a magical artifact. Well, it's a magical rock. Simply put, this one allows you to store spells and cast them from it. I'm sure if you spend some time with it, you'll work up the nitty-gritty. I'm going to sleep.
How big is this stone?
It's sort of like maybe the size of a dice. We're playing D&D, that's a good comparison. When you've heard of them before, you've seen people wearing them sometimes in wizarding schools. Essentially, if you bind yourself to it, you toss it into the air and it will start to rotate around your head, like a couple of inches away from your head, and just rotate around you in a slow circle.
Okay, so Valis immediately tosses this stone, and so it's rotating around it.
Yeah. You toss it. You will need to attune to this, but you do that while you're...
You can roll 1d3 to see how far away it floats.
1d3.
Yes, roll me a d3.
Oh, that's a d4. 1.
Yeah. So it's rotating about a foot away from your head, which is a bit further than you'd like, but not far enough to really be a problem. And you feel as it starts to rotate, as it starts to bind itself to your power, you feel that this rock could store some of your spells somehow. And you also feel that it has a spell within it. It has the spell shield in it currently.
Do I know if I was to try and store a spell in, I would use that spell's slot for the day?
Yeah, you know all the details that are on the card, essentially. You learn that by attuning to it.
I see. Lovely. Do I know the extent of... yes, I do know the extent of the shield.
It's on the card.
Yes, I saw it as you said. Lovely. Well, Valis will be quite chuffed with this new floating piece of rock around him, and continue to make tea and serve everyone tea.
Yep. Which may make you less well rested knowing what Velis keeps in his teapot, but
Any of us are going to drink it. I worry for the rest of the people on the ship.
I could use my second teapot if you complain too much.
you brought a spare.
Listen, Valis has spares. Of course he does.
Alright then. Is there anything else you wish to do during this rest period?
How long? I have a scroll, don't I?
You do.
I just can't see. How long will it take me to put that into my book?
You won't be able to currently because it was a scroll for Wall of Force, which isn't a spell that you are capable of understanding.
Oh, that.
I.e., it's a higher spell level.
Well, I looked at the scroll and tried and just got very confused.
Yeah,
And I just...
you look at the scroll and you understand enough to say you can't do that currently.
Yep.
You could cast the spell from the scroll. Sorry, it wasn't in your inventory, was it?
I know. I was like,
No,
sure,
sorry. I just
scroll.
noticed when I was looking for it then. Yeah, you could use the scroll to cast the spell if you need to. You need to make an ability check for it, but you're aware of that. You've cast spells from scrolls before.
Yeah.
But you can't write this into your spell book now because you aren't at the level to understand it that well.
Yeah, okay. After that, Valis will have had his rest, and then he would have got back up, reattached his little earring onto his ear, going round staring at all the members of the crew for a bit, and then walking away and going to the next, and so on and so on.
Okay. And you start to work your earring, and it whispers you something for every person you go past. But the more you use it, the more you realise it doesn't seem to be that helpful to you. It seems to mostly just point out things you can already see.
But he still finds it to some degree helpful.
Yeah, I mean,
He also
it
has the
points
fact
out a
that
couple of
he's
things
straight.
maybe you didn't immediately notice, but looking at it, probably could have noticed if you'd spent more time looking at the person. Like, he'll point out that someone's got a white streak in their hair, and you just realise you weren't really looking at their hair that much.
But he's basically just going to eye up all the crew and just make judgments on them to, and if he see if anyone's suspicious or anything, if there's any more gang members hidden or anything.
Nah, seemingly not. There isn't a crew on this vessel, essentially. There's the captain and the figure you met in the back. Everybody else is just people who are refugees from the destruction of Toril.
They could be spies.
They could be spies.
But
Your earring doesn't seem to think so.
No, so Valis is happy at this.
Alright then. Anybody else?
I think Callie would.
Sorry.
I think Callie would probably spend the rest just starfished on the deck with Perry curled up on her chest as she trances for 4 hours or something.
And given that you all need 4 hours of rest, you have a lot more free time to fill.
Yeah.
Those of you that prepare spells, also remember to check your new prepared spells if you need to.
Yeah. She'll pull out a journal and just start drawing in it after while she waits for everyone else to wake up.
Alright. Rune?
If I have enough time, I want to make a bag of holding.
Do you have a bag that you can use for that? I mean, suppose if you empty your bag out on the deck and then use that.
I don't know. We need a bag.
You need a base item, essentially, which for a bag of holding would be sort of a backpack-sized bag.
Okay.
Which technically you do have one with you if you just dump everything out of your bag. So
Yeah, no.
Ask around.
ask around.
No, yeah. I mean,
Ask all the refugees of the destroyed planet when they've got a spare backpack.
Doesn't matter if it's holy or not. I'll find a backpack.
Blessed backpacks are rare. Oh no, wait, the other sort. No, not really. I mean...
You confused me for a second.
You know that to do this, you're going to be carving runes into it, adapting fittings around it, insetting pieces of brass, etc. There's a lot of handiwork that goes into it. If the backpack was previously slightly damaged, you could probably repair that at the same time. You know how to use a needle and thread well enough for that.
And I think I do have that in my inventory.
If you don't, you can make it, because you are an artificer and know how to make your own tools.
I know, I have Tinker's tools, but the symbols are needle and thread, so yeah, let's go with that.
That is true. It's a form of tinkering.
Yeah, so I'll ask around and see what I can find.
Yeah. And you manage to find a suitable, reasonably suitable backpack. One of the straps is a bit loose, but you're fairly confident that you can fix that. And you go back to... I mean, you don't necessarily have a room, but you go back to the hammock that you've claimed and take the time to carve the runes, inset the pieces of brass, etc. And eventually produce yourself what you assume to be a bag that's a bit bigger. A bag of holding. Go on to your inventory.
Hold the big stuff.
There you go.
Yo.
And you open it up, stick your hand in it. Definitely bigger than it looks.
Nice.
Alright then.
Thol would have started in a hammock and then slimed over the edge, and there's just an awkward sort of thick puddle on the floor underneath of it.
Despite being able to adjust your shape to perfectly fit in a hammock, you've decided to sleep on the floor.
No, when you sleep, you lose your form.
You just don't realise.
That's what it says on the thing.
People around you are woken up when they hear the sound of a large pile of ooze slamming onto the floor at one point, but...
It's like if you drop a jelly.
So you drop a jelly very slowly. But... eventually you all find yourself resting.
I just realised I have Cosmic Omen, which I got at like level 6.
You
So
did.
can I like roll a dice to find out if I've got wheel or woe?
You may do so. You consult your star map and... even number. That's wheel.
Yay. Sweet, thank you.
Note it down somewhere because I forgot to make anywhere for you to write that down. Alright. And you rest. You awaken once again. You take your time to do relevant morning activities, preparing spells, praying to gods, whatever you find the need to do, making cups of tea. And as you, one by one, come back out onto the deck, you see up ahead of you a massive asteroid. The sunlight from the nearby star illuminating the rooftops and spires of what seems to be a city built across the top of a gigantic asteroid. The underside also seems to have structures of great sails that jut out from the sides. The wooden docks that seem to protrude from one end that your ship and the other ships are heading towards, and a variety of ships already moored there. As you move closer, space-dwelling fish scatter in front of you, and you see ahead, on the docks, pier workers standing ready to catch ropes as you pull up against the docks. And you watch the shape of this great space as you move closer, as the ship pulls up to the dock. The ropes are tossed, the ship is tied down, and Captain Sartell shoves out a small plank that you could walk across to get onto the dock, starts ushering the civilians off. All those that she'd rescued from Toril. They all flood into the dock space. And she looks towards you. Well then. Welcome to the Rock of Bral. It seems this is where we part ways.
Thank you again, Captain Sartell.
Yes, we are gracious for your passage.
Thank you.
Certainly. When you're on there, look for Commodore Crux. He can help you with what we discussed.
Do you have any idea where he might be, or...?
He frequents a tavern in the lower city, the Happy Beholder. She gives you directions. Sol, you recognize
Don't worry,
the name.
I know where that is.
Yes, you recognize the name, but she starts to give directions anyway.
Sol looks happy.
Of course she
It's
does.
hard to tell. What was the name of the person she said to look for? Captain...
Commodore Crux.
Commodore Crux.
I'll write it down for you. It is spelt how you would expect.
I'm spelling it with a K. Hey!
It is spelt how you would expect. Unless you're spelling Commodore with a K, in which case I have questions.
Commodore Crux.
Spell it.
Oh yeah, spell it.
And you... Sorry, go ahead.
What would you like us to do with the one that we left in your jail?
Yeah, I will have the guards deal with him, unless you want him.
Not particularly.
Only if he's
Right.
dead.
I think he's alive. Did you leave a dead body on my ship?
No, I definitely did not. I made sure of that. Twice.
Perhaps, Captain, perhaps it might be worth letting the guard know what we spoke about. If this Zarzian Empire is making the rounds, it might just be bluster, but it might be worth the Rock knowing about it.
Certainly, I'll let them know. She
Well-
leans over the side and starts shouting at one of the pier workers, and you see he darts off towards some people in armour, summoning a couple of guards to come along.
Well, thank you again, and we wish you all the best in your future endeavours.
And to you, if you ever need me again, I probably won't be here. Farewell.
I start heading off. I'll look at the guys and say, well, welcome to the Rock of Bral. I know where this pub is. Valis, I think you will find the owner to be extremely interesting.
How so?
Oh, that would be telling. I know you love to see new things. Why ruin the surprise?
Derek, I think you're about to get a new brother. Come on.
No.
Why would that be your automatic thought?
No.
We're not taking you to dead bodies.
Oh.
Anyway, this is the Rock of Bral. I suppose the main thing to know is we're currently in the Low City. This is the cheap district. I used to work here. There are other areas. I doubt we'd see any of them, but who knows?
This is the crap hole that you said you came out of.
This is the crap hole I said I used to work in before I went to the monastery, yes.
Oh.
Anyway, let's head to the Happy Beholder and maybe get some drinks. Be nice unwind.
They have nice music at the Happy Beholder.
Of course. I was not leaving them.
Come on, Derek. We'll still try and find you a brother.
And
Do you think it's wise to be just... I mean, does Derek actually look dead?
He's wearing armor.
not in the
Very
armour.
often.
Okay.
He moves a bit sort of rockily and rigidly, but he's in full armour, including a full faceplate, so...
Okay.
I mean, unless you get close enough to smell him, it's not really noticeable.
Of all the things that you could have made into a zombie, someone wearing full armor was probably the best you could have got. need to get some incense.
It's possibly still questionable bringing him around, but
Yeah.
he's covered. So,
I mean, it's not questionable. It's not questionable right off the off. So, well,
Off the
that's all right. Yeah.
and you see the blue figure of Sol starts to disappear into the crowds ahead. Are you all following, or does anybody want to go somewhere else?
I'm gonna get heavily distracted by any stalls that are along the way.
You do.
Otherwise, I'll try and follow, like the first 10 seconds.
So I try to bait the hook with there's something super interesting. You really want to see this?
Yep.
Otherwise, he wouldn't have followed me at all.
10 seconds for that. 10 whole seconds.
Go on.
God. Now, I think what I would do is I'd try, as we're walking around, try and make a map if I can.
Yeah, you sketch the first few streets you see, and you're trying to sketch out the general shape of what you'd seen flying in, which gives you an idea.
Yeah, just because.
But it seems Sol doesn't take you that far. As you walk off the docks, you only go down you go down one street for some distance, there's a couple of stalls that Valis gets distracted at, and eventually you're led into sort of a small alleyway that forms the entranceway to this tavern. You see a sign hanging above the door that reads The Happy Beholder, and you step inside. As you do, you see... Oop, go.
The same map.
The scene wasn't loading. Sorry.
You do not own any
Pitch
token with vision in this
area
scene.
of doom.
I forgot to turn
Does this
fire
have
on.
token vision on? Sorry.
No.
Fuck's sake. There we go. Nope. That didn't work either.
We're going in with our eyes closed.
Trying to get through that thick curtain. Oh.
A large spherical creature with eye stalks and a watchful central eye that seems to tend bar here. The people around seem fairly accepting of this happy beholder. And
As Valis sees it, he's going to switch his eye patch over to the other eye to get a better look.
Valis, I'd like you to meet Large Luigi.
Can I touch it?
You can ask him if you can touch him.
And I'm going to, like, immediately dart through the crowd to get to him.
yeah. And as the rest of you watch Valis dart through the crowd, you spy a figure on one side, seemingly on his own, filling one side of a table built for 6 people. A broad-chested, hippo-headed man with a green parrot perched on one shoulder. The figure, as you meet eyes, squints at you over the top of an enormous tankard and waves you over towards him.
Perhaps this is our man.
You see the figure of Commodore Crooks.
It's
Oh
an
boy.
impressive parrot.
I know.
Maybe the pirate's the Commodore.
One of these people is Commodore Crooks.
I mean, it wouldn't be completely insane that the parrot is at this point.
Are his pants just really baggy, or has he just got really small legs?
I mean, I noticed that as well, but
I don't think that's a polite question in gift culture, but
He's a hipster.
wow.
I'm taking that, actually.
I'll head over his way.
Wow.
Oh dear.
Yeah, we'll go over.
As he starts moving. Rune, does Raslin follow you? Or do you order them to wait at the entrance?
Yeah, I mean, I think, Raslim's gonna probably wait outside.
Maybe a bit of a squeeze.
Yeah, it's just gonna perch and sit down or whatever outside.
Yeah. And you all move over to the seats opposite the Commodore. Valis, you move closer to this great creature, and as you do, you see it is floating. It doesn't have legs or tentacles or whatever to stand on. It just floats there, about 4 feet off the ground, and it's massive.
Valis is just going to go to hug it.
As you get closer, one of the eye stalks turns and a single eye looks towards you.
And I'm just going to grab it and like hug the eye tentacle. Like, you're so beautiful!
You do so, and as you do, the main body turns towards you, all the other eye stalks looking at you, gathering around. What are you doing?
I've never met a beholder. You are so beautiful. May I know everything about you?
Yeah, just get off.
Of course. And I relinquish the eye.
And he floats back a little way, so he's out of reach, and... Right, hey. Large Luigi.
Hello. Where do you come from?
Here, more or less.
Have you always come from here?
No.
My name is Valis.
Hiya, Valis.
I have explored the stars, but I have never seen a beholder. I've only heard of you in legend. You're usually quite terrible in killing.
Not me. But yeah, you know.
Is there any reason why you're not killing everybody right now?
I like a bar, I run a bar. These people come to the bar, I'm not going to kill them, they're my customers.
I see.
But
How do you
we don't have any
pour the
problems with
drinks?
thieves. He sort of... One of the eye stalks looks towards a cup nearby, and you see the cup just rises from the table and tips to one side slightly.
Oh, you have magic cups?
Yeah. Magic cups.
Fascinating. I'd like to know more about you. May I ask more? Are you busy? Can we have a room? Can I interview you? May I have a drop
You
of
see
your
sort
blood?
of 3 or 4 of the eye stalks look in different directions until one spots an empty table. Yeah, there you go. Sit over there.
Yes. And I'll move to this table.
Yeah, you move to the table. You see one of the eye stalks glances towards the bar, and a bottle picks itself up off the bar and floats towards you.
No, magic bottles too!
It lands on the table, and large Luigi slides into place, floating across from you.
You must tell me all about you, your adventures, how you got to run a pub, and where you got all the magical cups from.
Right, well, I'm large Luigi. My adventures are I came to the Rock of Bral and I opened a pub, and I run a pub. All sorts of cups and magic.
What do you mean the cups are magic?
I'm doing that.
How? You don't have any arms? Are you telling-us? Telekinesis? One of those? Are you a mage?
I am telekinetic, yes.
Wow. Is this because you ate a mage?
I haven't eaten any mages that I know of. Some of the meat around here is questionable, right?
Oh, don't worry, I don't mind. And I literally pull out a heart and offer it to Big Luigi.
I'm not eating that. Put that away.
Sure.
You're getting it on the table. Put it away.
Sorry, I put it back into the teapot and put it into.
You see a cloth lift itself off the bar and floats over and starts rubbing at the table.
So what do you eat? If it's not people?
I don't really eat.
Interesting. But then why do you have so many teeth?
Well, you know, you might need to smile at people. He gives you a big toothy smile.
You may need to work on that. It looks very scary. To someone who didn't know that you wouldn't eat them, they would definitely think you're about to eat them.
Right, yeah, I get that.
What sort of shampoo do you use?
His eye stalks just sort of all twist back towards him and look around his body, and I don't have hair.
Oh, I thought the eyes were hair. Are they like your limbs then?
Yeah, they're my tentacles. Tentacles have got eyes.
Out of all of them.
I mean, apart from that one, he sort of a couple of the eye stalks point towards one. You see the eye is completely white.
Do you still need that?
Yeah, it does other things.
Puts cleaver away.
Back into the other bucket that one goes. Tell me, is there anything interesting around here apart from a giant beholder running a pub?
Yeah, well, I saw 3 interesting people earlier. There was this blue fella, and there was this person that seemed to be made out of metal and wood, and this woman who has, a purple thing on her shoulder. Look, they're over there. And, 3 of the eye stalks point towards the rest of your party, who seems to be sitting down with a giant hippopotamus creature.
Oh, they've replaced me.
Oh, hey, that was your group? Well...
Yes, I have to lead them through adventure. They would be lost without me.
You should probably catch him, then. Seems to be talking to the Commodore. And once you talk to the Commodore, there's no going back.
Of course. If you do feel the need to eat anybody, could you let me know? Because I have a few candidates that might be ideal, and I may need the leftovers.
Right. I'll be sure to let you know. He says this as he's floating away. And as he does so, you see the bottle that was in front of you picks up and starts floating towards the table with the rest of your party.
I'll chase it, not realizing where it's going. Hey!
And Sol, you see a bottle just float into your field of vision and land on the middle of your table.
Oh!
Looks like we've been given a drink.
I think this place is haunted.
Oh, hello, Valis.
My drink.
Yeah,
Who's the rhino?
We're just meeting the Commodore.
Oh, when's he arriving?
The Commodore is here. This GIF fellow.
That's me.
The new fellow that seems to be here, Valis.
Oh. And I look at the parrot with the eye patch and I move the eye patch to the same side.
The parrot just looks directly at you and tilts its head.
Valis will copy it.
Right, well, Valis is distracted. Good to meet you. Commodore Crooks, I presume?
Yeah.
My name is Sol, this is Calatrix, Rune, and Valis seems to be admiring your parrot.
Right.
We were told to seek you out by, turn to page, by Captain Elena Sartell of the Moondancer.
Right, but, I mean... I don't have work for you.
Well, she asked us to seek you out. Our planet, the planet we were staying on was destroyed by this weird crystal plant thing.
They were very pretty, but slightly destructive.
Yes, I believe Torel may be lost.
He sits up straighter as you start saying this.
And we believe it's linked to the Zarzian Empire. Apparently, Emperor Zarvin is using these to take over planets to turn into energy.
But I'm guessing you already know something of that.
He shoves his tank to the side as you start talking. Right. Now it makes sense. Right. She sent you here because I've had dealings with them before. I've heard of these attacks happening on other worlds. I can't get Large Luigi's voice out of my brain. I've heard of these attacks happening and I think I can help. But he looks around and sort of... You see, he's very much looking at the other tables, seeing if anybody's sitting too close, anybody's listening. And he leans in, which is a terrifying prospect given the size of him. But he leans in, the table creaks as he leans on it. Leans towards you, this giant hippo face filling your vision. A fleet of Astral Elves visited the rock before launching the attack on your world. Maybe 2 weeks ago. They we're warning captains here to stay clear of Toril, you said?
Yes.
Stay clear of Toril. I expect they left spies behind to make sure anybody who survived didn't stay that way for long.
Yes, we met them, fought them, killed one. Well, technically killed two and arrested one. By the way, if you see one in armor, it's probably ours. Valis.
What? Valis likes pets.
Yes.
Where is Derek?
Where did you leave him?
He didn't follow you in.
The last time I saw him was when we were on the ship and I said, let's go find you a brother.
I'm sure this won't be an issue.
Right, well, anyway.
I will go and find him.
Don't get distracted.
And hopefully he's found maybe a brother?
Don't get distracted. Come back here.
I will find him and bring you straight back. Him back. Derek, that is. Bye.
And yourself. Both of you back.
And I won't have another friend. Oh, wait, no, you didn't say that. Bye!
He's going to get killed one day, and I'm going to have to break my vow.
I'm confused about that one, but
Most
Don't
people
worry.
We're confused about that one.
Yeah.
if you want to talk about Xaryxis, we should talk on my ship. Less chance of ears. He wiggles his ears, he says that.
Well, okay, where's your ship?
At the docks.
Yes, but which one is your ship? I apologize.
The second wind. We're both for. He motions one big hand towards the door, which seems polite, but then you realise he can't get out unless he moves the table, and you need to not be there so he can move the table.
Nah, doubt.
He's getting himself ready to move, but he's stuck behind this table now because you're occupying the other side.
Yeah, so we'll start moving out.
Yeah.
As you get up, he shoves the table forwards and moves himself out.
I'll leave a message with Luigi just to say, Large Luigi, if the strange man who was interrogating you earlier comes back in looking for us, please let him know we're at the docks and maybe tell him something interesting is there so he'll show up.
Oh yeah, you got it, Blab. He turns
Cheers,
around and
Luigi.
starts serving people.
I'll leave. I'll take the bottle with me that was on the table as well.
Fair enough.
Why not? It was given to us.
Technically.
And nobody drank it.
And Crooks starts to lead you back towards the docks. Valis, you wander out of the Happy Beholder, looking around. No sign of your zombie.
Do I hear any screaming?
You listen. Not any more than you'd expect from a city.
I will backtrack the way we came to see if Derek's along the way and be checking like every junction as I go.
Yeah. And you backtrack a few and you spot the figure in the armour that you had left Derek in. As you move closer, it is clearly Derek. He's walked into the back of a hand cart that someone seems to have been carrying goods in and tangled himself in the wheel somehow.
Oh, Derek. Let's get you out of the wheel. And I'll begin to assist push his limbs back out the wheel.
Yeah. You start pushing back out.
I don't suppose you found a friend whilst you were out here.
And we'll leave you there. The rest of you. You're following Commodore Crooks down this street, past a small market section near the docks. A couple of buildings to one side and a sort of a U-shaped building within which they form the market courtyard. As you're walking through this space, the Commodore leading you, he's very drunk. He's wobbling everywhere as he walks. As he leads you back towards the ship. And as you move into this market space, you see Valis up ahead, seemingly wrestling with his zombie. Something with a handcart.
I really hope that is Derek he's found and not just another soldier.
Maybe
He does
Derek
seem to
found
be
a brother.
tangled in something. You expect a living soldier would be smart enough not to do that, but then you've met soldiers, so...
I'm sure we'll catch up to him.
As you move forwards, looking at the people around here, Ali, you're the first to notice there's a lot of people around. You're not the first to notice that, but you see a couple of figures that seem to be wearing dark cloaks and hoods over their heads. But it catches your eye as they move through some of the light. Under that cloak is the same mask that Derek wears. The same sort of full-face helm piece. And these cloaked figures are moving closer to Valis and Derek.
Callie is just going to scream out, "Hey Valis, look! You could get Derek some brothers!" And just point at them in the loudest, most booming voice she can possibly manage across the thing. And yeah, just probably point to the one that's closest to him.
Yeah. And Valis, you hear this shout and you look up from freeing Derek from the cart here. And you see two figures in cloaks, one on each side of the street moving towards you. And you can see, with Callie pointing it out, under the cloaks are the same full-face masks that Derek and his previous companions were wearing.
Perfect. And I will cast blindness on one of them.
Okay.
So I'll turn to Callie after she shouts and just go, "Callie, why would you do that?"
I just wanted to let him know they were coming. And besides...
And you see the hood falls back from one of these figures as he raises his hand up to his eyes. I can't see. Hey, I can't see. The other figure starts to draw a weapon. Roll for initiative.
Here we go again.
I mean,
Crack
yeah.
stumbles. Well, slaps.
There's no counter, active counter. Active counter, please.
Oh, for God's sake. Really?
What?
It's there. How are you the only person that didn't hit it?
I must have just done it just that split second before you did.
Sorry about that. That was weird.
Too quick. As soon as you said roll initiative, I clicked it. I was ready.
You were prepared.
I knew where it was going.
I thought it was already there, actually. It worked for everybody else. So.
Strange.
Anyway.
Oh, I got a good roll.
Commodore in there.
Commodore.
Commodore.
And you all see, as Callie points it out and as Valis starts to cast, these two figures approaching Valis. And as your awareness peaks, you also see two figures closing on you from this side street. Two more just coming around this corner.
You get a defining feature for which one's Derek, please. Just so we don't get a
We kind of do.
Put a mark on him.
But
It
just
wasn't
give
a
him the
problem
skull.
until now.
Just give him the skull. He's dead. I mean,
Yeah.
He is dead, but it's
I'll
hard
make
to see
things
on top of all the
confusing,
things.
though. There we
Yeah.
go.
Dead one.
Yes.
dead Derek.
And Derek.
You could do with a different token. I'll fix that for next time.
Just need to get that token and grayscale it.
And as you drop into initiative, the Commodore's sort of looking back at Callie, trying to figure out what she yelled. as you all prepare for combat. Calatrix.
I am going to go into starry form, dragon, thingamybobby.
Alright.
And just, Callie's body just like lights up with the stars as this dragon constellation circles through it. And then I'm going to cast probably Moonbeam centered on the two that are coming towards us. If I can find where I put that.
Alright. As you see these figures coming around the corner, you start to prepare your moonbeam and drop it right in that space. Alright. Anything else from you?
I think I might try and move forward a little bit. Maybe like up into here.
Take cover behind the Commodore.
Maybe.
You can't just half cover it.
He's a big figure. Alright. And
Which one's blind, by the way?
funnily enough, this one.
Yay!
I put that in the corner.
Even
He
better.
rolled the highest even though he's blind. He saves again at the end of his turn. Okay. He saw you, but he's now stumbling forward, sort of. Hey, I can't. Look, stop them! And he sort of bumps forwards until he bumps into Derek, and you see he's fumbling a sword out of his sheath, but he can't quite get it out as he bumps into Derek.
Yep.
What the? There's somebody here. And he's fumbling around. Valis.
I'm gonna turn to I'm gonna just take a step back from Derek, while shouting at Derek, "Get yourself out of the wheel and kill this one." And then I'm gonna turn to the other one on the corner, and I'm going to cast a witch bolt on him.
Alright.
Which bolt?
Yeah, unfortunately, you're not quite prepared for this. It just zooms past him slightly and frazzles the edge of his hood. Anything else from you, Valis?
Nope, that is my limit.
Alright. You see Derek sort of fighting with this wheel. Can't quite seem to get his way out of it yet. And Rune.
Yes. I am going to... One minute, let me just double check. Yeah. I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt on the furthest one away.
Alright.
Ooh. Nice.
Getting a hit.
Then Valis will get advantage on next time.
Your bolt
Maybe on
flight
hit.
blasts forwards. And Valis, you see this bolt fly past you. You recognise it's something Rune normally does. And as it strikes this creature that you missed, the sort of dim light glitters around it, makes it much easier to see against the shadows that it's hiding in.
Ah, you're there.
And then I'm gonna move up here, and Razlim is gonna. I don't know. Was he kick that? Did he kick? Let's say he kicks.
As an attack. He does a thing. Right. And yeah, Razlim sort of rears up and kicks out his front hooves at this guy. Slams into his face. Doesn't do much damage, but it shatters the mask slightly. You see the dark golden eyes of an astral elf under there.
And that's me.
Alright. Sol.
Sol is going to move up. He's going to run, sort of do a little bit of a wall run and send a kick at this one in front. But instead of a foot, a bolt of lightning will come out. And I'll cast a line to go through both of them. So both of them need to make a DCE 14 dexterity save, please.
Alright. You see as Sol's foot whips out and a small space opens up at the bottom of it and lightning just crackles through his body, coming from that big centre of orange energy, crackles all the way down his leg and splashes out through the base of here, striking into both of these. All full damage.
Nice. And then I'll land, and then after I land, I'll have a punch at the one in front. Again, fist crackling lightning. Probably miss. So then we'll attempt to hit again with my last attack. Wait, how many attacks have I done? I can do another one as a bonus action, that's correct. I remember.
Yes. One of your attacks is an arm strike, so you can do a
yes, I'll spend instead I'll spend a key point, use Flurry of Blows.
Yep.
And take 2 more unarmed attacks.
Just keep them.
Wham. Again, these are still lightning. And wham.
And you watch as Sol just transforms into this flurry of lightning as he lands in front of this creature, and every time he strikes, there's a peal of thunder as his fists connect, and shots of lightning start blasting into the enemy.
And if this one's still up, I'm going to make that last attack a stunning strike as well.
Alright.
If he's too shocked to move.
He fails, yeah. He is stunned.
Get stunned, forehead.
All of your strikes just straight into the mask, and he's just wobbling on his feet at the end of it.
Inductive.
And onto the side of him, he's going to pull out his longsword and strike towards Rune. Although with 2 7s, he's not getting very far. He just pulls out his longsword and strikes, and the armour that you'd integrated into yourself yesterday proves effective immediately as it just bounces these longswords straight off. And he seems almost confused that he can't cut through you. As he steps back for a second and nudges his mate and, right, your turn. And the other one's just wobbling on his feet. Hey, you're... Damn it. And the last one. At the far end, moving towards Valis. And Valis, you see this last one in this cloak moves up towards you, long sword out. Takes a swing at you. That was a 5.
I made it!
Okay, the second one's an 11. Doesn't 11 hit you?
Yeah, it's double digits, yeah.
It's double digits.
Don't forget about your new magic item, Andy.
You do have one cast of
yes.
shield if you want to use it.
Is that a bonus action I can use it?
It's a reaction. It's a reaction when you are hit, essentially. But you've only got one.
Yeah,
so...
no, I'll take it. That. You said it was 13, so yeah, definitely.
It was 11,
so...
and yes.
Yes, was it? Oh, even better.
Yeah, as you focus for a second, there's this sharp blast of light from the Ioun Stone, and as this longsword swings towards you, it just stops against this flare of purple energy.
Force field.
And he steps back for a second, confused. Alright, and back to top. Commodore Crux. You all you spread out a bit around the street, getting into position to fight these. But you all take a moment to see as Commodore Crux opens up the side of his jacket and pulls out what you can only describe as a musket. A full-length musket comes out from the inside of his jacket. He's completely drunk, staggering everywhere as he raises this thing up towards the guys at the far end of the street. And Valis.
And Derek.
And Derek.
Looks indistinguishable.
And there's this blast throughout the street, almost as loud as the thunder from Sol's fist. As this musket fires, there is a cloud of black smoke around Commander Crux. And you see the elf behind Derek, the zombie, just gets a blast straight through the mask, tears off part of the mask, and there's a big gash in the side of his face.
It's not made that much.
And you see as the smoke clears, Crux is already tearing the top of a paper cartridge, reloading his musket, and it comes up again. There's another blast of black smoke.
God.
And Valis, you feel this bullet almost parting your hair as it flies over your head. And you turn back, you see this cloud of black smoke in the middle of it, this gif holding this giant tube just goes, my bad. Starts to reload. Callie, you're currently surrounded by black smoke from the musket that he just pulled out, but...
Yeah, I think Kelly is gonna like cough and like try and clear her throat and then just like move over here. Periwinkle's very like unhappy about this on my shoulder as I do so. And then I am probably going to... I'll leave Moonbeam where it is. And...
They take damage from Moonbeam, by the way.
Oh, they did not, thank you. I'll do that now. Give me 1 second to solve Alice's shield effect. There we go. It's supposed to be at the start of their turns and I forgot about it at the start of their turns. You're correct. You failed. And you failed. Yeah, they both take 5 damage from Moonbeam. My apologies.
Sweet.
And they're still stood in it, so...
Yeah.
I've killed this one.
Nice.
That wasn't intentional, I just typed it wrong and it died. Okay, it's alive again.
No.
Sorry, carry on.
And then I'm probably going to cast Sacred Flame towards the one that's closest to Valis.
Okay.
And you just see this like trail of like starlight.
You have advantage on that.
That's like shift and roll?
Shift, yes.
Oh, I don't
Actually,
think
the
it
magic
matters.
of Sacred Flame isn't an attack roll. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I got it confused with Guiding Bolt again. Yeah, and you see as the flame sort of shoots out of your hand and you look up to the stars and sort of raise your hand up and the starlight slams down towards where he was as he steps to one side and it misses him, unfortunately.
Must have had some of that musket smoke still in my eyes.
Yep, definitely the musket.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else from you, Callie?
Yeah, that's me done.
All right. Blind one needs to save against blindness. Still blind. Sort of. He's waving his hand out. He feels a figure ahead of him and goes, "Hey, Farfrin, that you?" And you hear the other one go, "No, that's not me." And the blind one just raises his sword up and starts striking at the figure of Derek in front of him.
Why would he attack Derek?
You see sort of the first swing just bounces off the armour that Derek's wearing. The second chops through his shoulder slightly. And there's a spark of radiant damage as it strikes. Spark of this white fire that strikes onto Derek. He's looking injured.
He was looking dead, so that's an improvement, right?
He was looking dead, so that is an improvement. But now he's looking dead injured.
Oh, I see.
And Valis.
Having seen this, Valis is going to get...
Shield fades at the start of your turn, for your reference. So that's gone.
That didn't last long.
Well, lasted long enough to survive.
I'm going to turn to the Farthrin, the guy who's right next to me.
That does supposed to be his name.
I am going to cast Chromatic Orb, but I'm going to upgrade it.
Alright.
That would have been an advantage, right?
Oh, yeah, that should
It would,
be an
yes.
advantage.
It was the
Do you want
first.
me to just cast it again.
Just mouse over it, and there's a little plus on the attack.
Oh, yeah, there's... Well, good job it was an advantage. That helps so much.
Oh well, always worth checking. But yes, you start to circle this sphere of energy, and as the shield fades from in front of you, your sphere of energy juts out and slams into him. What sort of damage type do you want this to be?
I'm just checking which ones I can do it for.
It's in description. Acid,
yes.
cold, fire, lightning, poison, thunder.
I'm going to do that as poison.
Okay. Check. Yep. And the poison slams into him, and you see it sort of starting to seep through gaps in his armour, getting into the skin, and he starts sort of not screaming, but he's definitely in pain. You hear sort of a grunting noise and reels back as it hits him. Anything else from you, Valis?
No, I'm just going to shout at Derek and just hurry up and bite him or something.
And you see Derek just hears that and just turns around, and there's a snapping noise as his arm dislocates completely where it's still stuck. But he turns around and bites at this figure behind him.
I didn't mean literally, Derek.
You see his teeth clamp down onto the armor and don't go anywhere. There's this horrible screeching noise for a moment, and he opens his mouth and frees himself.
Damn it, Derek, you have a sword.
And Rune.
Yes. I'm gonna go whack with the sword.
Go whack with the sword. Do it.
If you're hitting Lannis, you get advantage.
You do have advantage, he's still stunned.
That's the one on the left, yeah.
That's the one on the left.
That didn't work. Oh,
That'll definitely hit. As you chop into this figure while he's still stunned, he's just wobbling back and forth as you strike him.
so I'll go for a second attack. I'm assuming the second one was at advantage as well.
It is, yes. He's still stunned, even after he hits him. And as you raise your long sword and angle yourself for the second attack, how do you want to kill him?
Just like straight through. I'm just literally just bringing the sword down through the shoulder, just through him.
Yeah. And you target the weak spot on the shoulder. Your natural ability as an artificer helps you to identify exactly where the weakest point of this material is. And your sword just slams through the joint at the shoulder and slams through into his chest. He falls to the ground.
Oh,
Right, so I'm giving him 130 health. How did I do that? He had 7. How did I give him 130?
He's evolved. Boss fight.
It's getting worse.
Phase 2.
And he falls to the ground.
Okay.
Oh no.
So if he's down, Raslim's gonna move over to the other one and kick him.
Yep, and Raslim rears up and kicks this one in the face. He stumbles back a little.
Ow. Yeah.
Alright. And Sol.
With this one, falling, Sol will see that there's one fighting Valus, and he'll just sort of squat down as if readying to jump. I'm going to use a bonus action to use Step of the Wind, and with that, wings unfurled, and his wings will, a pair of slimy dragon wings will burst out of his back, and he'll just leap and move. I don't even need to measure it. It's what, 90 plus 45, 135 feet. I'm sure I can get over, and he'll just fly over. And in fact, he'll come down, drop down here, and again do a flying kick in a line to hit lightning through both of these fuckos.
Right. And you all watch as Sol, who you normally imagine as this sort of slightly amorphous figure, but you know, sort of blobby and squishy and cuddly kind of, but he just grew wings and flew in the air as he shoots off ahead of you and slams down onto these guys. This blast of lightning comes out of him. Fortunately, they both saved, but they still take some damage.
It's alright. And then sort of bounce back up, follow it with an uppercut. Let's make this fiery. And whiff it entirely.
You're not used to wings yet.
And then using the off-balance nature... oh no, I can't. I already used the bonus action. Using the off-balance nature, I will just stagger backwards slightly, and the wings will retract back into my
Strange
body.
shift of weight with these wings on your back. You aren't quite ready for it as you swing back towards him, but you manage to recover yourself well enough. And this remaining one on the left side is going to strike at Raslin.
Mood.
He swings his long sword, it skids off some of the armor plating on Raslin's side. He sort of recovers and swings back for another one, just bounces off one of the horns, and he sort of... The sword wobbles in his hands, he sort of stumbles back slightly with it. Yeah. He sort of... You see him sort of tilting his head over his shoulder like he's considering running away. Like he isn't quite sure if he can take both of you. But he holds his long sword in front of him, ready to guard against the next attack.
Okay.
And Thafrin has many options now. And you see this one turns towards you, Sol, and his long sword at the ready tries to slice up into your slimy form. Completely misses as you're recovering yourself. Swings back again, still missing. As you manage to get yourself back onto balance and just easily lean out of the way of these shots. And Commander Crooks. Commodore Crooks,
God.
even.
Here comes the thunder.
Yep. You turn back and you see him throwing away the paper from the latest cartridge as the musket comes back up to his shoulder. And the blast of musket fire. You see the bullet slam into the side of the one that you're fighting, Sol. And again, the tear of the paper pouring into the barrel of his musket, and another blast that pings off the armor of this same one and just zooms past your face, Sol. Very close to you. Jams into the wall of the building behind you.
If only it hit me, I could have then thrown it.
And Callie.
Kelly is going to run forward to about here. She's going to say, ready periwinkle, and then starlight step up in over here. And then cast Thorn Whip on the blind one.
Okay.
Do you get advantage because he's blind?
He can't defend himself. You do have advantage. unfortunately, even with that, you can't quite manage to get the thorn whip to get through his armor. It wraps around him and doesn't pierce the armor. You pull it back and try and hit him again with it, and the plates that surround his torso make it very difficult to get through. You don't quite manage to connect.
Yeah. Periwinkle's very annoyed at the whole star stepping thing.
Angry eyebrows. And you see this blind one he feels this attack and goes, "Hey, another one!" And he swings his long sword in your direction, Callie.
Okay.
Does a 16 hit?
16 does.
Okay, that's 5 slashing and 11 radiant damage. 16 total.
Thank you.
And he's still blind, even though he's making these swings at you, but he's still very much blind.
Do I have to make a Constitution saving throw?
You are concentrated on Moonbeam, aren't you? And I forgot about 2 Moonbeam damage again.
No.
Yes, please make Constitution save. And I'll
Yeah.
pretend that I saved Moonbeam earlier. That's still a failure. Awkward. Can you roll Moonbeam damage again as well?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I can treat a roll of 9 or lower as a 10. I was just checking on Styrofoam thing.
Yeah. You're fine. Concentration's still up, so... Roll Moonbeam again for me.
Is there a way to do that without, using a spell slot, or...?
I just don't take Consume Spell Slot. It'll give you the option when you cast it.
And untick the template. Nice.
Nice.
Some chunky damage.
That one takes... Oops, I've almost broken it again. That one takes a big chunk of damage. As the universe suddenly rights itself and remembers that it was supposed to take damage out.
Yeah. And I think that's me done.
Velis.
How's this one in front of me looking?
Definitely injured. He's got a few cuts to him. He's got what seems to be a bullet wound in his side. He's coughing a bit, but he's still standing. He's still got his sword at the ready.
Okay, I'm just gonna turn to him and cast another chromatic orb, but standard level.
Yeah, it doesn't quite get through his armor.
Yeah, that's fine. My turn. That's all I'm doing.
All right.
I'm a one spent pony.
I'm just gonna carry on. Backing this dude.
Hit him.
And did Derek not get a go? Sorry.
Hit him. Oh, sorry, Derek did get a go. You told him to use his long sword, so he pulls that out.
Teeth still attached.
His teeth are still sort of attached as he fumbles a long sword out and starts stabbing it into the guy. And he does seem to connect. It does seem to get through the armor.
Yeah, let's go, Derek.
And Rune.
Sorry. Okay. So just that means though second attack. Nice.
Yep.
And Rosalind will attack. Wow.
Yeah. You manage to hit him quite solidly, but as you pull back, you sort of tangle up with Raslim a bit, and he's slightly off balance, doesn't quite manage to connect.
That's me.
Alright. And Sol?
Sol is just going to throw three punches at this guy. Let's spice him up. We'll make him a fire, cold, and acid. Fire, cold, and then acid.
Yeah, unfortunately, they all sort of... You start striking for the body and they all just bounce off this breastplate. You can't quite seem to get the right angle to get through it.
Damn, that's upsetting. Okay, that's fine. I used my bonus action to do the extra punch, so I can't do nothing else.
Alright. And this one sort of... He looks at you, Rune, looks at Razlim, and looks
He takes
towards
damage
where
from
his...
Moonfire.
Thank you. It's down to his turn. He saves against Moonfire. He saves against Moonfire. Half damage is 7. And he looks towards where his allies are being surrounded back there. The big hippo with a musket. And he just throws his sword at you, Rune, in this sort of vague attempt to distract you, and turns around and starts running. You may take an attack of opportunity.
Nice.
Which will hit. As he turns around, you see an opening on the side of his breastplate as he turns and stab your long sword towards it. How do you want to kill him?
I would just say that, like I said, it's going through his sword. It's literally, I've stabbed, he's turning, so it's kind of like slicing himself a little bit.
Yeah. As he continues the motion, you see on his face, realizes that you've stabbed him to this weak point and just slumps to the ground. And... Farfin. That's a name and a half. This one's going to turn back towards Valis and start striking.
No, not the squishy.
Valis, you see this long sword coming. You manage to get slightly out of the way of the first one. Second attack strikes you. For 4 slashing and 12 radiant. 16 total.
Oh my god, man.
Hey.
Okay, yeah.
Back to the top. Commodore Cruxton's musket. As he readies another shot. Blasts straight over Valis's head towards that creature. Wild miss. You hear it ping off something in the distance. As he starts reloading and fires again. Oh, that's not good. Oh,
Yes.
D3.
D3, okay, hang on.
Glad it's not me getting shot.
It might be.
So the 3 is.
That's what the 3.
3.
Yeah, about that.
So wouldn't it hit me?
You watch as the musket ball bounces off this guy's armor, slams straight into your arm, Valley. You take 9 piercing damage.
Ow.
I do.
You do, yes. You turn around and just see the
That's
hippo
me
holding up his musket going, sorry. I usually shoot better than this. And Calatrix.
Dear.
I'm going to cast Wither and Bloom, so having just seen Valis get whacked with this musket thing in front of me. I'm going to
From
cast
our
Wither
own
and Bloom.
team.
Yep.
Wither and Bloom, centered on these. So, Astral Elf Dude is going to have to make a save, and Valis, if you want to, you can use. I'll just put it in chat.
And for radius, you can hit both of them.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying not to hit Derek. anybody else?
They're your choice with Wither and Bloom.
Yeah,
You're
you
choosing
can
which
pick
creatures take damage.
Okay. So, yeah, it would just be the Astral Elf that's kind of in front of Valis.
You
and
could hit both
Valis.
Astral Elves, couldn't you?
I think I
Yeah.
would have needed to have used higher spell
No,
point.
it's just 10-foot radius. You choose which creatures within that radius you want to affect.
Brilliant.
So you can
okay.
target both of the enemies and not
Yeah.
Derek. And also
That would be
not Valis, I suppose.
fantastic.
How do I roll
Valis
my
can
hit
use one
die?
of his. Yeah.
You can just click hit dice on your sheet. Like the word hit dice on your sheet.
No, I can't.
Oh, no, you can't. Interesting. That's new. Just roll me 1d6 then. Roll 1d6 and mark down one of your hit dice.
If you click the cog, you can roll it there.
Okay.
Why would they
hit
move that?
I don't know. Well, that's how you
You
can
can
do it.
roll it there. That's weird.
There you go.
That is a weird change. Anyway.
Yeah, I got 8.
Ooh.
That's a good roll.
Would it not
Great
be
roll.
Calatrix's spell?
No, she's choosing which creature gets heal using its own hit dice.
Yeah, but it'll be plus her spellcasting.
Oh yes, plus her
modifier.
modifier. You are correct.
Not yours, Valis.
Oh, so what is it?
It's your hit dice roll, which was a 6 plus 4,
Yeah,
so 10
so I
total.
get 2 more, yeah, so that's what I wanted. 2 more. There we go.
That's the ones with more health.
New spells!
I like that spell, cast it more.
That is a good spell.
I like it too. It's also not concentration apparently, so I can still have Moonbeam up. I just can't use them both at the same time.
Yeah, it's because it's not permanent, it's just that one hit.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be concentration because there isn't a permanent effect.
Yeah.
And you see sort of one of them, the one towards Sol and Valis, sort of it starts to slump down and almost, like you could say he withered himself. Like as he slumps down in the effect of this, the other one doesn't seem as affected. But definitely getting hit. And you see Valis perks up a bit as the wound in his arm starts to heal slightly. Anything else from you, Callie?
No, I think that's me done.
Alright. The blind one. Still blind. He's rolled a 2 on that save every turn.
Yes! Stay blind.
He's just going to sort of swing his sword around wildly at this point. He's not quite sure where anything is anymore. He swings once and misses everything, swings again and slams into the cart. Hey, I got something. Wait,
I just love how in all of our battles so far we've had some guy who's blind in the background.
yep,
Battle.
Seems like a theme.
I know.
it's a bit of a theme.
It's such a strong spell if it gets off, though.
It is. I get every time I've done it though. It's great.
Alice,
Yes. Right, I'm wounded, so I need to start sucking blood. So, this one in front of me, I am going to cast Vampiric Touch.
Nice.
Oh! See that?
Wow, okay.
yeah, okay. You are very much going to kill it. How would you like to kill it?
I am just going to, like, everything around me just plummets into darkness as I just throw a bolt right at his head, and you just oh, it's hot. You just see all the blood seep out from his helmet and into my fingertips as he just collapses to the floor.
Wow.
Now I get double health off this because he's died from a necromantic spell.
Because he died from necromantic spells.
So, how much health do I get from just the touch? Is it half?
19 from that.
19.
You get, oh no, half that, sorry. So yeah, 9 from that.
9. Which
Round it up, 10 from that.
3.
I'll get there eventually.
And then, as a Grim Harvest, is it another half?
Let me check. You gain hit points equal to, oh no, it's just twice the spell's
Twice the
level.
spell's
It's not the
level.
damage.
So it's 6, because it's a level 3.
So it's 6, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, 3 times its level if it belongs to School of Necromancy, sorry. 9.
so it's 9 more.
Yes.
Oh my god,
Look at
I'm
that
fully healed.
New characters. New characters need to learn all the rules again.
You just
Wow.
see Val is like, all this blood sucks into it, he just stands up like fully proud, like, yes.
The wound in his arm heals over entirely, and you see the lead bullet just drop out of one side.
Wow.
Yes for necromancy.
Anything else from you, Valis?
No, I'm just gonna start looking at this corpse in front of me and start preparing certain spells.
Certain spells.
Certain spells.
Rune. The ones you were fighting seem to have perished somehow.
Derek.
Oh, thank you. My bad. Sorry, Rune, please hold.
Alright.
You considered this as you watched Derek attempt to stab a man.
Derek fails entirely.
Oh, damn.
You watch Derek's longsword start to skid off the side of this guy's breastplate and almost hits Calatrix.
Hey, watched it!
Derek.
And Rune.
So I'm gonna move up 15, 20, 25, 30. Rest will come with us. And then on the only one left, that's not my sheet, I'm going to cast Sacred Flame.
Alright. He saves, unfortunately. Oh no, actually he's blind, he's at disadvantage. Hang on. Disadvantage, he still saves, unfortunately.
Wow, he's just
rolled
moving
higher.
around. He's just moving around too much.
He's trying to get that sword out of the cart, he just steps to one side trying to get better leverage and just slam into the spot where he was.
He doesn't know he's dodging or anything. It's really comedic.
Okay, that's all I can do with it. So.
Okay.
And we're all fighting this blind man who's gonna dodge everything.
Are you ordering Rosalind to do anything else? He has more
Um,
movement than you, so...
Really?
Yeah, he's got 40 feet.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I'm still faster.
Well, he can't get in, so he'll just stay there and just dodge or whatever.
Sol can still beat him in a foot race.
I can beat anyone in a foot race.
And Sol.
Sol is going to move around behind this blind man, and he's just going to try and break his head with bludgeoning fists. Whoops, ignore that last one.
That was too many bops.
I got overzealous with my bops. No, they should all have been at advantage, hang on.
Slightly overzealous for your God's sake.
Nice.
I put all the dice rolls in the chat box thinking it'd be nice and tidy, but now I just can't read anything in chat. Okay, as you start beating at the guy with your punches, how do you want to kill him?
I'm just gonna keep punching the helmet until it dents into where his face was.
Yeah.
And then there's nothing left but some blood coming out.
Pretty much. As you all watch Sol just keep punching this guy as he falls to the ground. Keep punching him, keep punching him. And he's definitely dead.
Great, I can't use that one now.
Could probably steal his armor to repair Derek's, though.
Yes. Derek, go down the street there and bring one of the better corpses back in, please.
And Derek starts to shamble off.
Oh, I'm gonna drop
As he
Moonbeam
starts
too.
walking, his arm comes straight out of the wheel well. The wheel spokes. He carries on walking. Goes to collect the...
Definitely want to drop Moonbeams before he gets there.
got-
It could be awkward.
And you find yourself in the street, surrounded by the dead bodies of some astral elves, with a very drunk hippopotamus.
As he
I think-
approaches, you shot me!
Sorry about that.
And I pick up his bullet off the floor and pass it back to him. Don't do it again.
Oh, thank you. He stuffs it into a pocket.
I'm gonna start having a look through them to see if they had any anything on them, any notes or anything.
All right. You start to shuffle through their pockets. And on this one that you mushed a bit, seems to be the leader of the group, you do find a couple of pieces of paper.
Ooh, nice.
Not much else. They don't seem to be carrying coin or anything. They just have their weapons and their armours, but you find a couple of bits of paper. As the smoke clears, the literal smoke from Crux's musket, you look around you and Crux shuffles up towards you. Right, we should go before any more of them. I don't think there were just 4. We should get to docks.
I may just need a brief moment. Like 1 minute tops. I mean, you did shoot.
I'm gonna just go over and pick up the body and just say, deal with it when we get there.
We could just take the bodies with us.
Right,
Okay, everyone grab a body.
Oh, I can carry this one. We only need the one.
No, I definitely need more than one.
You only need the one.
I mean,
I definitely need more than
I'll
one.
go grab the other ones.
Derek, get your arm.
Derek he's just reached the other guys wearing the armour and he's just reached down, start unbuckling the armour when he hears that and turns around.
No, bring the
starts
body.
walking back.
But get your arm.
And then walks back over to the body and starts dragging the body behind him.
So I'll
I'll
take
go
the
pick up
body up
Derek's
Derek.
arm.
Oh, yes,
I'll go pick up Derek's arm.
Okay, Rune, bring that body as well. I'll need that. We can leave the one without the head from Sol's attack. That's no good.
Amadar's sort of
Still has
awkward
a head.
looking at you, and I'm not sure I want dead people on my ship.
You
They'll
shot
be up
me,
and
you
moving.
I'm just.
You did do
That's
I've got
fair.
a weird question.
Right.
You've got a weird question with all of this.
Yes. Can the bodies actually fit in the bag of holding?
How big's the opening?
It's roughly 2 feet in diameter at the mouth, and it says it's only 4 feet deep, but then it says
Tony, if
Can
it's only
exceed-
2 feet in the diameter, just think of how big 2 feet is, and then ask that question of if you can fit a fully grown man in plate armor into a 2-foot gap.
I don't
Definitely.
know how big that is.
A man isn't 2 feet wide.
Like that's a foot, right? That's
Speak
how
for
you-
yourself, Josh.
from
A man in plate armor isn't 2 feet wide.
You bet at the shoulders they could be. That would be the biggest width of a person.
I mean, they're elves,
There's
so they can't be
rough
that, like,
Yeah,
buff.
usually slightly.
Yeah, no, you can you put the bag of holding on the ground and sort of pick up the man standing and put his feet into the bag and start to push him down, and you get to about the lower rib cage and the rest of him's just sticking out the bag. And then you look at it and think,
You should put it on your shoulder.
really? As an artificer, you should know how big 4 feet is compared to the height of a man?
We haven't got
But-
time
Only
to
there were
take that.
halflings
You're gonna
there.
have to carry that.
But as a player, I don't have a clue.
Well, you know for
glad you
future that if you
started
kill
with
any
the
halflings, you can probably fit them in your bag.
I'm glad you started with the feet on the bag, otherwise you just have these pair of legs sticking out the back.
But you now have a bag of holding half full of an astronaut.
I mean, technically, does it still only weigh 15 pounds?
It does still only weigh 15. Well,
You
the
half
part
the
of it's in
weight
the
of the
bag
body,
weighs
yeah.
15 pounds.
Plus the half on top of the bag.
The rest of it's just a bit of an uneven look.
Oh, God.
Tie a rope around it and around your
Yeah. Okay.
So you pick up your bag of holding and extra.
Yeah,
cool.
it's just gonna go over Raslim. Just, yeah.
Fair enough. You rig the bag of holding onto the saddle straps you'd fitted on the side of Raslim and sort of bend him at the waist so the rest of it goes over Raslim's back. seems to work out. You're putting half a man in a bag of holding.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And you begin to make your way back to Commodore Crooks's ship, back to the docks with your
corpses.
Two
three
bodies.
corpses in hand.
Is it 3?
Yeah, because Derek's dragon one as well, right?
Yeah, but Derek's got one. Rune's got
I've
one.
got one.
You've got.
Sol's
I thought
got
you
third.
had Derek. Oh, you've got that and Derek's.
I can just carry one over my shoulder.
That's great.
I'm strong.
Derek's arm over his other shoulder. Just giving him a hand.
Wow.
Lovely. Did you just use
No, I'm gonna
it
give
wave
the arm
people?
to. I'm gonna give the arm to Valis to hold.
Great. Valis is using that hand to wave at people who are watching as we go down the street. Like,
Commodore Crooks is sort of leading you and just apologising to everybody he goes past.
Sol is echoing the apologies.
As you move towards the docks, you see standing at the corner near the docks 2 guards. They eye you suspiciously as you walk past. And one steps up to you, Sol. You appear to be carrying a body.
Yes.
Why are you carrying a body?
I'm trying to think how to word this. Its body has been donated to magical science.
Right. And the other ones? Well, the other 1.5?
Again, donated to magical science.
Right, carry on.
Thank you.
He steps aside and waves you past.
wave at him with Derek's.
Magical science, right?
Yes, I have paperwork.
Right
God, why
then.
would you say that?
Wait, show me this paperwork.
I look into the arm, and I pull out my wedding guest book that I have,
Okay.
and it's got. I'm just like, see, here's all the generals who have signed it, and I'm just like going past really quickly, and then at the back, I've written "Prophecy of Valis" on. See,
He's
in
awesome.
my
He
name.
looks as it goes. Unusual form, but very well. Move along.
Thank you.
Oh my god.
Pass that so easily.
Guards are dumb.
Just confused him with the term magical science and he didn't want to work out what that means.
He walks
Like
back
he's
to the guard.
probably not paid.
You hear a quiet conversation back there. You see the other guard on the hand approach, he just reaches up one hand and slaps the first guard on the back of the head.
It's gonna be a news article. Has magical science gone too far?
Magical science has definitely gone too far.
In our streets now.
And you make your way towards the docks proper. And you see as you move along stately galleons and sleek cutters that resemble some sort of flying fish. Warships built big and bulky with the fronts like hammerhead sharks that all line the docks here. And comparatively, Crooks waves his arm towards a craft that seems almost modest. The sail, just a single sail that hangs in the front, is a patchwork of mended canvas, stitched in multiple colours. The hull seems barely held together by these thick vines that wrap around it. And strangely, on the aft deck, towards the back, there's a fully grown tree that sprouts out of the ship. And as he moves towards it, he turns back to you and goes, "My ship, the Second Wind. Isn't she something?
What happened to the first one?
I got an upgrade."
Have I seen a ship like this before?
You have seen a couple of ships of this sort,
Okay.
with the vines and the trees. They're generally in better condition. I didn't preload this map.
Valis
Sorry.
readjusts his eye patch because it's really dark in the eye he's seeing right now.
Yes.
No surprise.
Yeah.
As the captain walks you onto the deck. And you see, emerging from the stern castle here, the figure of a tiefling, a hood over her head. As you all board, she walks out and... Hey, Crooks. It's my vessel. Get the people off here. Crooks sort of looks up at her and goes, No, we need the ship. I'll have to. He seems to be floundering almost. Looks towards the rest of you. As you all see this, tiefling steps out.
I can't see anything, mate. We haven't given our character.
Oh, for God's sake! Why?
That's what we were getting at previously, my guy.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
I can see!
Ah,
I can fight.
this eye works fine.
And
Get it closed.
as Crooks sort of stumbles over his words and looks towards you, the tiefling turns to you as well. Right, well, I had a big job to do with this ship, so you can't have it unless you pay me. Oh, I don't know. None of you really look like spelljammers. You can pay me to get off, or I can fly it for you. 30% of your treasure.
Is this tiefling the one who's got the really, really deep voice?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
No, this was Crooks' ship.
He rented it out to me. Crooks sort of nods in agreement. I've got it for another 40 days, so find yourself another ship.
So, Sol will lie the body down. Because I've literally got a dead body over my shoulder and full armor. It's getting a bit heavy.
She doesn't seem to react to that.
I apologize, we don't seem to have been introduced. My name is Sol, this is Calatrix, Rune, and Valis.
And Eric.
What might your name be?
You call me Fel.
Fel. You are in command of this ship for the period of 40 days, as you say, as Crooks has rented it to you. If you wanted us to hire you for your spelljamming services, what would you be charging?
1,000. 1,000 up front, or 25% of whatever you take.
You think we are humble people, you see. You see, we're carrying 3 bodies along with us. We do not have a huge sum of gold, and yet we may be on a mission to help save many, many planets. Think of the recognition as being the Spelljammer on the ship that helped save countless planets. Yes, treasure is one thing, but the recognition of being a hero, you'll just get things thrown at you. The good things.
Yeah, I see a point, little blue man. 30%.
That went up.
It did go up.
I will squint at her.
Look, I don't care. It's my ship for 40 days. If you want the ship, pay me. If you want me to fly for you, pay me more.
Do you mind if we have a conversation?
Not at all. She doesn't
Team
move, she
huddle.
just leans back against the door.
Team huddle, team huddle.
I say we blind her and throw her overboard.
But that is... No. I believe our option.
We do need someone to fly the ship.
As
I can
much...
fly.
No.
You have never piloted as much as I appreciate your skills,
Can't be
Valis.
that hard.
Yes, but the fact that you get distracted, you have, from my understanding of controlling a spelljamming helm, you have to be incredibly focused.
I can do it.
And if you get distracted and try to fly somewhere else, you'll throw us off course and potentially kill us.
I still think
Just
I can
Alice.
80% do it.
No, you can't. Accept it.
70%.
Just accept it, Valis. You can't do it.
Now-
We're not letting you.
This brings me on to the next question. If we're hiring this fell, do we have the money between us to do that? They want 1,000
Bag of
gold.
sand.
They are asking 1,000 gold, half up front and half at the end. So that's 500 gold now.
I can probably cover that.
I can cover
Yeah.
half.
I can. This. I'm gonna
do we-
just. Sorry.
Go on.
I'm just gonna sidestep towards Crux. I'm just gonna ask him. Well, try and be quiet. It's like, what did she rent? What did they rent it out for? The ship. Do you know?
She rented it for 3 months for 1,000, but it'd be about 400 gold for what she's got left. I could refund her, but if you need her to pilot, then I don't know. Can one of your lot not do it?
Alex is nodding his head behind her.
I don't think we have the full capability of that yet. But I just wanted to know if they told you a reason why they wanted to rent. Like, is it just so they can make a bit of money renting out your ship?
She's a smuggler. Probably thinks she can make more on the journey.
Okay. We haven't. Yeah. Okay.
You haven't blank?
No, I was just like, we've not even had the conversation of where we're going anyway, so.
This is a valid point. He hasn't told us. He just said, we'll go back to your ship, and now this person's asking us to hide them.
Yeah.
This is correct. As soon as you got on the deck,
10% I can fly.
Just... Maybe we should pull Crux into this huddle. Crux, come here.
Crux's big hippopotamus head leans down. You'll have to lean out a bit. It reduces the effectiveness of a team huddle somewhat, but...
Crux, you have invited us onto your ship, and now we are seeming to be having to pay for a pilot.
You not pilot?
You don't seem to exactly be helping.
Well, she's right. It's her ship for the next 40 days.
Yes, but you own the ship. I overheard you saying you could refund her. Can you not pilot your own ship?
No, I'm not a spellcaster.
Okay.
Can't you, and he points towards Valis and Calatrix. They were both throwing spells. Neither of them do it.
I can! Oh, please let me try!
Valis, how do you control the ship?
With magic.
How?
He's right.
What do you do?
He is right.
He's right.
How do you control
I
it?
sit on the chair and I use my thoughts and control the ship. I've read all about it, I think. It may have been something else, but I'm pretty sure it was this. And I can do
What
it.
thoughts?
He's
What's
pretty
that
close to
magic?
being right, to be completely honest.
I think it's worth the try. Give me that opportunity.
It cannot hurt,
Too.
and if you do terribly, Calatrix can do it.
Oh,
I mean, can you convince this?
Wait,
Can you convince them to get off the ship?
I have an idea. If we can convince her to leave the ship, I can try, and if I can't do it, then we just go back into town and find someone who can do it for cheaper.
That is also a valid point.
Right.
Okay, I'll actually give you them.
Crux, this
I
person
don't
who
trust the idea.
technically owns your ship for another 30 whatever days, 40
40
days.
days.
If you were to refund her, I feel it feels rude to kick her off a ship she's rightfully paid for, but if you think it is of the utmost importance for us to have this ship, would you want her coming with us, or would you want to see if we could ask her politely to leave and maybe refund her?
I think it's important that you get off the rock. He reaches into his pocket and you hear the jangling of coins. I could probably refund her, but the money she's asking to be hired, I can't afford that.
Well, if you could refund her, she could always go look for another ship to continue her business, and we could contend with our business. attempting to pilot the ship ourselves, and if not, we can perhaps search somebody out to pilot the ship. Yes?
Right.
Are you staying with me?
He starts counting the money out of his pockets and walks over to her. Right, 400 gold. That's your least paid up. And she looks to him, looks up to his eyes and... But what about the cost? That's not right. But what about the cost of my voyage? The money I could have made could have been 3,000.
You could have died.
Her eyes just shift to you, Alice.
I'm going to sidle up to her with Crux' paid and just stare at her. And then pull out that bottle of drink that we got from the bar and hand it over to her and just say, take this as a gesture of goodwill, which is rapidly running out.
Maybe a persuasion check.
I would like to use my inspiration of the day to have advantage.
Go for it.
Because we always forget we have that.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I'm glad I did.
I only remember when I'm running a rogue.
Rocks up from the leaning against the door and just walks past you. As she does, she grabs the bottle out of your hand and sort of bumps you with her shoulder. And just strides off the gangplank.
Right.
Well then.
First, I need all the bodies in a pile.
Okay. You deal
Drop
with the
body
bodies,
where it go.
and we'll have a conversation with Crux about what is going on. Crux, I suggest you maybe drink some water.
Yeah. You make a little pile of bodies in the corner, and Crux sort of walks up to you and goes, right, water, right, this way. He leads you through the door to Stern Castle and down some stairs, if anybody follows him.
I'll follow him.
Yeah.
Yeah, take the bodies under.
Yep.
I'm staying with the bodies.
The bodies are just dumped on the deck.
Yep.
So, Alice, if you're staying with the bodies, you stay up there.
Derek, get your helmet out, one of the bodies. We've got work to do.
And as Crux leads you down the stairs, you see a figure on the lower level. A small Hadozi, monkey-like figure, sort of nods to you and goes, Captain? Crux nods. He nods to you two as you follow. You three, sorry, as you follow. And passengers? Crux nods again. Oops. My apologies.
Bit of a squeeze in here.
It is, yes. Somebody stood in the doorway. On deck. And as he sort of leads you into this small stateroom, and you quickly realise there isn't enough room. Well, there's barely enough room for him to get around in here. But he sits down behind the table after a bit of movement. And nods to you. Right. I think we can get to a place called Doom Space, where there are people who want to fight the Xaryxian Empire. If that's your aim, fight them, maybe get what's left of your world back. That's where we'll head. Once your pilot's in place.
What do you two think, Calatrix, Rune? Do you want to take this adventure of fighting against these corrupt peoples, perhaps liberating many worlds?
I mean, I guess we should. Probably.
Yeah. If they're on this crusade and we know about it, the least we can do is try.
I will nod and turn back to Crux and say, I think we're in.
Right. There's just one problem. I don't know where Doom Space is. But we go and visit Topola, she'll know.
Who is that? Topola?
Topola. She makes maps. She'll have a map to Doomspace. We'll know where to go.
Okay. Where's that? Topola. Oh, where's she?
Are you piloting, or is the weird guy piloting?
Oh, the weird guy is...
Right, well, I'll tell the weird guy where we need to go.
Okay, he's probably going to have to spend a couple of minutes to do whatever it is he's doing. It might be... if you let me know where your mop and bucket is, I'll clean the hull to make sure there's no obvious stains.
It's upstairs near the jamming helm. We've had incidents before.
Okay.
Maybe while Valis is busy, I could pilot. He's gonna be playing with his buddies for a little while, I think.
Oh god, what is that laugh?
We could also rest for an hour. I'll give him time to do what he needs. I know some of you got wounded in that fight. I'm sure an hour here won't be the end of the world. Or do you think we need to leave immediately?
I think it'd be best to get off the rock, but if you want to rest, I'll go and talk to the weird guy. Get him to take us out at least. If he's done with playing with his bodies.
It's up to you, Xaryxis, if you want to try and pilot for a bit. Maybe try and get the hang of it while he's playing around, and then when he's done, he can have a go, I suppose.
Maybe, yeah. Let's do that.
At least then you'll know if you can do it. Which I have the utmost faith in you.
Oh, thank you.
I have more trust in you than him.
I fear he will get distracted and take us to the wrong place if he sees something interesting. I'm not sure how it works.
I fear what we're going to go back to that we've left him.
It'll be probably a mess. Hence the bucket. I'll walk out and go find the bucket.
Periwinkle's just like totally buried under my hair and just like clearly doesn't. You can just see like the tip of her tail. She's just like, I don't want to deal with this.
Even Periwinkle knows.
Right then. All of you back on deck. Let's get the ship moving. He sort of, as he's had this discussion with you, he stands up straighter and seems more commanding, almost like it makes more sense to him now he has a job to do. He adjusts the beret so it sits between both of his ears. Still doesn't fit very well, but sits between his ears. Stands up very crisp, straight back. He left the parrot at the bar.
Aww.
Aww.
We venture to go back and get the parrot.
We need them all.
Maybe he was finishing his drinks. Maybe we'll show up when it's done.
Maybe it wasn't his parrot. Who knows? Just a random
It didn't seem like it was his parrot. He made sure to take it off before he left, so...
Aww.
It's his drinking pal.
Yep.
They go way back. It's a completely sentient alien race. We just don't know about
And
it.
it makes sense in a bar that's ran by a beholder.
He sort of ushers you all in front of him so he can get out of the room and walks back up to the top deck.
Yep. I'm gonna head to find the bucket to go clean up whatever mess is made.
Yep.
It's a metaphor there.
Rune, are you following the others back up?
Yeah.
Okay. As you all go back up to the top deck. Perry's disappeared again. Right. The helm's through here. You, the one with the animal thing. You said you were flying.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Right, hop on. As he swings open the door, you see the sort of... It's almost like an antique chair with golden upholstery and sculptures on the arms, but looks a bit the worse for wear. hovers, stabilized by these green crystals underneath that projects this green circle onto the floor.
Okay.
As you... Go on.
I was just gonna go in and I guess sit down.
Yeah. You go in and sit down. As you sit on the chair and adjust yourself, you lean your arm to one side and the right arm falls off the chair. He just sort of looks at it, fall on the floor and goes, it does that, don't worry about it.
Thor looks at the chair and winces in carpenter pain.
He turns back and the Commodore walks back out onto the deck and looks up to the mast at the front. You see the Hadozi you'd seen earlier is hanging halfway up the mast, stitching something onto the sail. And he looks up and goes, Flinch, get down here, we're flying. The Hadozi slips back down.
I'm gonna go in with Xaryxis, and I don't know if this works, but I want to try cast mending on the chair.
Okay.
At least to try and help.
Yeah. You put the arm back on and start to mend it, and it fizzles a bit weirdly with the magic on the chair, but it reattaches somewhat. And Xaryxis, you reach out your magics, and something about your magics, about druidic magics and this ship, seems to make it work better than you'd expect. As you connect to the ship and you feel another presence, another intelligence on this ship. You feel this deep, old knowledge, this creature that says into your mind that its name is Starbow. You get the sensation of a massive tree standing in a great forest. And you feel the ship around you. Your awareness shifts. You can see everything that's happening on the vessel, everything that's happening around the vessel. You become aware of all of the floors, all of the rooms here, and you know that using this chair, using this power, now that you're attuned to it, you could make the ship move pretty much however you want.
Okay, I just, like, it's almost, I'm guessing, comforting to me, and I just let it, like, sort of fill my mind as it's all this, like, feel the tree, and I, like, basically say hello to the tree Starbow. Yeah, and I'm like, hello, friend, and I'm quite like, and then sort of think about, like, moving away from the dock as we drift.
Yeah. And you all feel the second wind shudder for a moment and start to drift out from the dock.
And from there, I have no idea where we're going, so I'm just sort of coming to grips with this, like, wider presence that's surrounding me.
And you can see and feel everything that's happening on this ship. Valis on the main deck, raising these bodies, daubing them with what seems to be blood out of a vial and such. And you see Commodore Crux standing near the bow, near the front of the ship. He just looks back towards where the helm was, where you are, where your body is at least. And he goes, that way, points off towards the side of the bow somewhat. And you feel with your ability to see sort of from anywhere in this vessel, you can tell how much you need to turn to go where he's pointing.
And I just let it happen, or encourage it to happen.
Pretty much. You know you need to go that way, and the ship responds to that slowly, but it turns. And you start to fly the ship. And as you fly off, Valis,
Yes.
you have surrounded yourself with bodies,
Yep.
and they are alive. Well, as alive as you'd expect.
Yes.
You have several zombies that won't appear as tokens because I need to make separate tokens for all these zombies now
Oh, damn.
because they have different stats. I'll fix it later. But you will have 4 zombies.
Right. Derek, you're obviously Derek. You will be Eric. You are Merrick. And you there, you look like a Xaryx. Right. All hands to the ship. Set sail.
They all sort of lean down and put their hands against the deck.
Valis, I really suggest you think of better names for them, just to make life easier of understanding which one is which.
Yes, it's quite
As I'm
simple.
mopping the
That
blood.
one's Derek, this one's Eric, that one's Merrick, and this one's Xaryx.
Are you going to remember the names this time, or do I have to?
Well, that's what. Yes, that's why I've made them all rhyme.
Derek, Eric, Merrick, and Xaryx. What if they mishear you if you were to say, Eric, do this? What if Xaryx thinks you're talking to them because they mishear?
Why don't you just number them?
Okay, Derek the first, Eric the first, Merrick the first, and Xaryx the first.
You said Derek twice.
Did I? No, I definitely
I should have seen that coming.
Look, I will deal with it if they can't understand. They don't understand me half the time. Anyway, look,
That's fair enough.
Right, Derek, go get a kettle, put some tea on. Eric, grab the mop off Sol and finish tidying up half our mess. Merrick, go see if Xaryxis needs a drink or anything. And Xaryx, look useful.
And they rush off to the lower decks or inside suitably.
This is going to be a fun adventure now, isn't it? I wonder how many
Yes.
more I can make.
Mix them up. I've mixed up the zombies. So you see one zombie takes them off of you.
It's quite hard, not simple. I don't understand how you get them the right. That one's Derek. This one's Derek.
Oh my god.
I have gained labels. Just for anybody else questioning which zombie's which.
I mean, to be fair, if we come across any more of their kind, they might be useful.
They are all wearing the armour.
Do they still have like the hooded cloaks as well?
More or less. They got a bit torn in the combat, but they'll have sort of tattered cloaks and the armour.
They can kind of be effective if we need it.
We're being a
Brooks just sort of turns around and goes, don't get those all over my ship. They
They're
make a
going to
terrible
be all
smell."
over your ship. I'd appreciate. You're going to just have to get used to it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's easier to go with the flow of the river than to fight against it.
We know to clean up his mess, it's fine.
Right then.
We can't do much about the smell, I'm afraid.
Understood.
You'll get used to it. Hopefully. Where is it we're heading? I know you say we're going to this, to Polar, but where is it that they are?
She has a tower on an asteroid over that way. Your jammer is taking us there now. Maybe
Excellent.
a few hours travel.
Maybe it'd be wise for us to have a little bit of a rest if we need it then. Save our strength in case something happens.
Yeah.
Your choice. You're not in my chain of command.
Sounds like an idea. Can I, as we are we entering a rest now?
You could be, if you wish to.
Before
Can I
we
go
do,
up to the tree?
You can go up to the tree.
Tree hugger.
And before we do, can I cast blindness and deafness into my orbiting stone, please?
thought you were going to cast it on someone.
Yes. I've added a little section where you can note down what's in it if you edit the item.
Thank you.
I'm going to meditate by the tree here.
Yeah. And you see this is, as you look up at it, it is most definitely a treant. It is alive. It does have its own intelligence. It has 2 large arms, and there's a small pile of stones nearby that doesn't seem to be any way to fire them. So...
It eats them, obviously.
Yep.
Does it have a face?
It does. It's looking out into the stars, the direction you're going.
I'll just say as I come over, I hope you don't mind my intrusion. I was going to use the shade of your boughs to meditate.
It doesn't seem to respond, but as you settle down, you see the shade starts to deepen slightly, some of the branches above you moving to provide more shade.
Oh, what a babe. I'm taking a short rest before I forget.
Okay. Don't forget as well, you just get 2 pieces of paper off one of the
Oh, yes.
pre-zombies.
Can I read them on my short rest?
Yeah. You go through these. The first one you pick up seems to be the less fancy of the 2. It's a note that reads... it seems to be a short description of each of you. And reads, "These are the ones that killed Captain Asmadian." It's not signed, but it's written in a fine hand. You look at the other piece of paper, the finer one. And this one is more interesting. It's written in the same hand as the first. You recognise that immediately. But this one reads, "Those who bear this paper, this scroll, have diplomatic immunity on the Rock of Brawl. It's signed Gaderick Main."
Can you put that in? Can you type that for me?
Yeah, we could have used
What,
that
all of it?
instead of the
Or just the name?
legend album.
Just the name. Diplomatic immunity, you ain't got shit when we kill you.
Diplomatic
I
immunity.
learned that from Lethal Weapon.
Yep. So did everybody else.
I will store this one, give me diplomatic immunity, into my bag.
Alright. And what's the rest of you doing?
Well,
Rude.
I'm gonna. If I have anything in my bag, I'm gonna like tinker with something to help make these zombies look slightly different.
Well, at some point you had half a zombie in your bag. I'm assuming you took it out.
I don't know. I think Valis took it out of the bag. I don't even know where the bag is.
Still got
It's still
the
hanging on
shit.
Raslin.
Oh yeah. So it's just a marker or something on them. So in a fight we can be clear of who they are, like the rest of us.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know where I'd put it. Like, I don't know, on a shoulder or something, just so we can see it.
You have the ability to put essentially whatever marks you wish onto them. You have the tools for that. So you mark each of the zombies, which is awkward because they're still performing their tasks. So you have to sort of follow them around, especially the one that's mopping up the ground. Have to sort of follow them around and start carving into the shoulders or wherever you choose to put your mark. But you mark each of the 4.
I mean, I don't know what kind of mark. We can just figure that out.
We
But
can
yeah,
discuss that later.
yeah. Okay.
Valis, is there anything else you're doing after storing your spell?
Can I actually store 2 spells? When it says I can store up to 3 levels.
You can store up to
I
3
do
levels
2
of
and a
spells.
1?
However many spells you want, yes.
Okay.
Up to that many levels total.
Right. Okay, I'll throw another level 1 in as well. So I'll just throw a standard chromatic orb in, so I'll do that. Valis is just gonna kind of wait and probably pester Calatrix and be like, "Is it my turn? Is it my turn?" Like
be like, "What's it like? What's it like?"
Being a distracting little fiend.
Yes, I'm going to be absolutely distracting and cause chaos in every way possible, and make tea for everyone via my army.
Questionable teapot. Cartrix.
Kelly is just straight up ignoring him. Like, she's just focused. And she's actually really enjoying kind of like, just I guess, communing with this vessel. Reminds her a little bit of like doing that with the forests back before she ventured into the astral sea. Periwinkle, on the other hand, is just this ball of like pastel fury sitting on top of Kelly's head, just kind of like whuffing annoyingly at Valis and Eric one, because she's just like like trying to like get them to go away. And yeah, she's just sort of sitting on the direct top of Kelly's head, just like making funny noises at them and trying to like get them to leave.
There's a disturbingly aggressive platypus.
Yes, a small bowl of pastel fury.
Right then. And you take some time to go about your business, or stare at a ball of pastel fury, as appropriate. Sol.
Hello.
You awaken from your meditation. Obviously, some time has passed. You look down onto the deck, and the zombies stood there, one holding a mop, one just resting on the rail. And seemingly nothing going on down there. You look around, you see space. You look behind you, back the way you came, towards where the rock is fading away. Closing in on you from behind is this gigantic, bioluminescent, jellyfish-like creature with a glassy dome on the front, and clearly visible inside there is a flamboyantly dressed figure, blue skin. You see, as this thing approaches you, this figure looks directly towards you, Sol, and I'd say meets your eyes, but some problems there. But meets the part where you focus out of, at least. And as it does so, there's a sudden, almost a tickle on your neck to look down towards the main deck.
I'll look down.
As you glance down, you see a magical bluish doorway appears on the main deck of the ship, and the same figure you'd just seen above steps through the doorway. I'm just going to put you down.
I will head down to go see them.
And this figure steps through, straight onto the deck here. And looks at you all. He's carrying a trident in one hand, very finely dressed. I can't find the picture. And there we go.
Oh.
Someone just compared him to Pangolin in the chat, and I'm trying to ignore that.
It's not as beefy.
Magical doorway closes. There's a sparkling light that surrounds them, and they look towards each of you. Heading to Topola's tower, are we? I don't think so. My friends in the Xaryxian Empire don't want you meddling in their affairs. But forgive me, I haven't introduced myself. My name is Hastane. When the elves came looking for a suitable world to nourish, to fuel their dying star, I suggested yours. I suggested Toril. It isn't every day I get to witness the destruction of a planet.
I grab his face.
As he's talking?
Yeah.
Make a grapple check.
At advantage, because I'm a grapply boy.
Go for it.
What is it, athletics?
I'll have to do acrobatics. You're higher.
I don't want to give him a moment to be prepared while he's monologuing. I just want to grab him as soon as he mentioned that he's the one who basically caused Toril to be wiped out.
Yeah. As you whip out your hand in the middle of his speech, he just leans backwards. Your hand closes on nothing. It isn't every day I get to witness the destruction of a planet. I promise it will... All of them at once. I promise it will end beautifully, even if you're not alive to see it. He slams his trident on the floor, and you feel an impact on the ship, the jellyfish thing from behind firing on you. And that is where we'll pick up next time.